Hello, happy new week. Praise Jesus Christ. I hope you are doing well today. I'm also doing well. I want to continue with my topic of curses, and today I want to talk about curses that come due to sexual sins and and breaking of marriage covenant. A curse is the covenant consequence of sexual sin and idolatry that removes God covering, defiles the family line, and gives the enemy legal ground to bring repeated destruction. So, a curse is the destruction, the shame, family breakdown, and repeated cycles of trouble that happen when people break boundaries God set for sex and family, which leads to defilement, division, and gives the enemy legal ground to bring ongoing problems. So when we are talking about curses in relating to sexual sins and broken covenants, curses here is when the consequences that come when we break the covenant of marriage, because God's original purpose for sex is for sex to happen between husband and wife. So when it happens outside, there are consequences that come for that sin, and those consequences, those problems, those patterns that happen of suffering are the ones that we are defining as a curse. Many families carry patterns they can't explain: repeated sexual sin, broken marriages, divorce, promiscuity, strife in the home. The Bible calls this curse when tied to specific covenant violations. We look at what the Bible says on sexual sin, polygamy, and ancestral covenants. So God's original design for marriage is one man and one woman, and they become one flesh. That is according to and this is the pattern, the covenant pattern. The covenant pattern is one man, one woman, one flesh, God's original design according to Genesis chapter 2 verse 24. The man shall leave his parents, and he shall go and cleave to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. So when we leave this design, we open doors to the devil. All these depart from God's design and open a door to the devil. So God's original design for sex is between one man, one woman, and within the marriage covenant. I'm saying that sex outside marriage is against God's original designs, because God's original design was supposed to be sex between a husband and a wife within the marriage. So adultery, fornication, incest, homosexuality, bestiality, lust, pornography, masturbation, prostitution, rape, sexual violence, and polygamy. All this sex that it is outside the original plan of God, which was for sex to be within the marriage covenant. And when these things happen, they open a door to the devil, because it is against God's original plan. And when the devil comes, he brings sufferings, and sometimes there are curses. According to Matthew chapter 19 verse 4 to 6, Jesus took them to God's original design for sex and marriage, and that is still the standard. The standard of God is one man, one woman, one flesh. What God joins, no man should break. Sexual sin outside that design causes a curse. So when people have sex with animals, they have sex within the family, they have sex outside marriage covenant, it opens a door to the devil, and sometimes it brings a curse. Deuteronomy chapter 27 verse 20 to 23, it says, "Cursed is anyone who sleeps with his father's wife, because he has disgraced his father. Cursed is anyone who has sex with an animal. Cursed is anyone who sleeps with his sister, whether he is his full or half sisters. Cursed is anyone who sleeps with his mother-in-law." Leviticus chapter 18 verse 17 to 18. "Do not have sexual relation with any of your close relatives, your mother, your stepmother, your daughter, sister, aunt, daughter-in-law, your wife's daughter or granddaughter. it is wrong to marry a woman then marry her daughter or granddaughter. It is shameful and bring God's curse because they break family order. So we see that this sex within the family, a father having sex with their daughter, all these ones that I have mentioned, sex within the family, it brings a curse. Leviticus chapter 20 verse 11 to 21, sex with father's wife, daughter-in-law, homosexuality, sex with mother and daughter, sex with an animal, sex with aunt, sex with wife, with uncle's wife, all this kind of sexual and any practices, they bring a curse. These aren't random sins. They are covenant violations that break family order, because the family order is supposed to be that a father and a son, and that there is a respect that happens between a father and a son. So when you see that a father is maybe having sex with the son's wife, it is breaking the family order. It mixed roles God kept separate. There are roles that God kept separate, that maybe there is a brother, there is a sister, there is an uncle, there is an aunt. So when people who are related, they start having sex, it breaks the family order, and that is not what God intended, and it brings a curse. These sexual sins defile the land, according to Leviticus chapter 18 verse 24 to 28. It breaks trust, creates fear, and poisons relationships. Kids grow in shame, strife, and instability. So this sex within the family members, it breaks trust. People no longer trust each other, because you see, when people are together and they're supposed to love each other as family members, the trust is broken, and there is fear, because you fear that someone is going to have sex with the other person and their family members, and it poisons relationships. The relationships don't work as they are supposed to be, and there is shame, and there is strife and instability. We are tied to pagan worship. Sexual sins are part of pagan worship, according to Amos chapter 2 verse 7 to 8. They oppress the poor and twist justice. A father and son both have sex with the same girl, committing incest and disgracing my holy name. They lie down beside the altar of idols, using clothes they took from the poor as pledge, and in the house of their God they drink wine paid with unjust fines. So in Amos' time, Amos of the Bible, Israel was mixing worship of the Lord with Canaanite worship of Baal and Ashtoreth. Those cults practiced ritual sex at their altars as part of fertility worship. Amos is saying Israel copied that. They were doing ritual sex and incest right next to the altar of idols, but still claiming it was worship of God. So ritual sex is sex as part of religious ceremony or worship practice, not just personal pleasure or marriage. So here we say that there are some times that sex is practiced as part of worship, and this is where I say that when you find a family, there are this kind of people in the family, people they are sleeping with each other, and it is a pattern. It has a root cause, because you may find out that the ancestors, they went to the gods. Like here we see that in the time of Amos, the Canaanite way of worship is that when they went to worship those idols, they were looking for maybe fertility, they were looking for power, they were looking for blessings from those gods. And when they go to look for those kind of blessings, you would find that as part what they were supposed to do, they were supposed to have sex as part of the ritual, as part of worship to those gods. So when you find that in a family, even today it happens, when you find that there is a pattern of where people are having sex between each other, and it is a pattern, there is possibility that ancestors worshipped idols, and that brought curses to the family. And that's why you see that people in the family, they are still suffering in marriages, they are suffering in their relationships, because those kind of the ancestors went